ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 14 of the F4 Division 4 Championship here with RSF1. And today we're in Bahrain. And as you can see, the championship leader, Lincoln, is here today. Still yet to win a race. You've got Cornet Star back this week after unfortunately missing out last week due to fault of none of his own, to be honest with you. It was just connection problems with this server. And you've also got Millsy, who's the other championship contender. Kachel thinks he's still in the championship, but I think he's a little bit too far back and he's a little bit far stretched, but we'll see. There is 5 rounds, including this one, left in the season, so it's going to be interesting to see who can win this title. It's been very close all the way through, and it's very, very, very interesting. Now, we're in Q2 already, because Q1 was pointless. As you can see, we've only had 14 drivers. Primus crashed out in Q1, so Primus was the unfortunate casualty of Q1 and the first casualty of this track. But as you can see now, it's a Q2 session. That does actually mean something. We're going to lose 3 drivers, and currently, as it stands, Old Manzi is the guy in 11th place, but pushes himself up to P7. And we lose from that session LA16 Ham in the Williams, Pierre B2611 in the Red Bull, and we lose NUFC 7 Owen in the Alpine. And he had a quali ban, hence why he's gone out with no time. He retired immediately at the start because he knows what to do if you have a quali ban. Now we go to Q3. We're on board with Kachel, who will be setting the first banker lap, the first round of qualifying laps here in Q3, and he goes across the line with a 26.696. Good lap from him. Now you can see Fish Stick, Cornet Star, Trick 2 Pines, Immortal, Revengezilla, and somebody else has done their laps, Button, I think. And now Lincoln goes P1 with a 26.692. Very, very close between the top 2. Now Cornet Star to the line. What can Cornet Star do? Goes P3 with a 26.746. Now Millsy, the second man in the championship, who is trying to claw back the deficit on Lincoln. And he comes to the line now, P7 for Millsy. He's not going to be very happy with that. Now you can see Immortal has had a spin. Immortal's facing the wrong way in qualifying, not what you want to be doing. But he needs to step it up if he wants to go further forward. Now Button looks like he's on a very good lap here. He could be challenging the front row of the grid. Button comes around the final corner, gets lovely traction. We switch on board with Cornet Star, seeing what Cornet's getting up to. But now Button comes to the line, 26.6. Goes fastest. Now we're looking at Trick 2 Pines. I'm not really sure why we're looking at Trick 2 Pines, but we are. Currently just admiring him around the first few corners as Cornet Star doesn't improve, actually. I don't know what happened. Fish Sticks now to the line. Fish Sticks go P5. So it's been a very close quali. Now I think the next car across the line that could contend is Cornet Star. Or was that Lincoln? No, Lincoln's in front of him. Lincoln's invalidated. Lincoln's done. Now it's Cornet to the line. What can Cornet do? Can he improve? Can he take pole position from Button? Yes, he can. A 26.426. An amazing lap from the McLaren driver. Now Button's done, Immortal's done, Revengezilla's done. I think qualifying is done here, guys. That is it. That is all you're going to get. Cornet Star takes another pole position on his return. Button gets P2, P3 for Lincoln, P4 for Kachel, 5th for Fish Sticks, 6th for Old Manzi, 7th Millsy. He's going to be very, very disappointed with that in the only Haas car on the grid tonight. Trick 2 Pines gets the 8th place. And as you can see, this is the championship battle now. Lincoln leads by 15 points. Braver Container, the poor man at the bottom there, 0 points still. And you've got Millsy in second. Button a little bit further back from Millsy. He's about 17 points back from Millsy. Then you've got Cornet Star, who's yet again another 7 points back from Button. And then there's a massive gap. I think at a stretch, it's a 4-car battle for the championship, but probably between Millsy and Lincoln. Now you can see here, we're going to run you through the grid. Primus Gaming starts P14 in the AlphaTauri. In front of him, you've got NUFC Owen. His name really bothers me because NUFC, you think Newcastle United FC. Owen was number 10 and Newcastle not number 7, but hey ho. Pierre B in 12th. You've got LA16 Ham in the Williams in 11th, gets fresh tyres. Then his teammate Immortal in P10, just in front. In front of him, you've got Revengezilla in the Red Bull, still relatively new to the league. In front of him, you got Trick 2 Pines in the Mercedes car, probably hoping to get in front of Millsy at the start to hinder Millsy a little bit to help his teammate Lincoln. Millsy is obviously in P7. In front of him, you have the Alfa Romeo of Old Manzi. Then he's following Fish Sticks in the Ferrari, the lone Ferrari in the grid. Then you have the Aston Martin of RSF1 Chow. In P3, the championship leader, RSF1 Lincoln. Can he finally break that duck and get a win? In second place, Button in the other Aston Martin. And then pole position, Cornet Star in the lonely McLaren on the grid. Now, it's going to be interesting to see who can get a good launch off the line, because I did my race on Tuesday and the tyres were ice cold. Now we go to the 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go! Here for Bahrain, round number 14 in Division 4. And Fishsticks gets an absolutely awful launch off the line. And he's already dropped back down. He was down into 12th there. And then we got contact. LA16 Ham, Immortal, and Old Manzi, I think, all come together there. Pierre may have been involved also. But it's absolute carnage here at the start. Fishsticks is still going backwards. Primus is going down the inside of Fishsticks. Little bit of wheel banging. But Fishsticks has managed to get himself back into P7 after that dismal launch off the line. Don't know what happened to him, but he just went backwards. And you can see Immortal is back there now, back down in 11th place. He dropped that position. Unfortunate for him. Owen's gained 3, Primus gained 6 so far. Trick 2 Pine's gone up 3. Lincoln and Button have both launched their way past Cornet Star. So Cornet's gone from pole position to P3 on lap 1. And you can see the drivers all following each other, single file through the double left for the first time. Now coming into the windy section, this is where you can very easily bin the car. Through this fast left and then fast right, the car can just go out from underneath you. But everyone seems to be getting through there quite successfully on lap 1. Old Manzi looks like he's got damage. He's way off the back of the field now. But yeah, he's going to have to hope for a safety car to pull him back in. And Immortal in the pits for damage. Immortal will be fighting a losing battle from this point, to be honest with you. Now on lap 2, you can see Fishsticks, Revengezilla, and I believe Primus Gaming all going side by side. Owen's looking to get involved. Bit of wheel banging between Revengezilla and Fishsticks, but it looks like Revengezilla takes that position off Fishsticks, so he's up another place now. Owen thinking about a move on the back of Fishsticks, does not make that overtake yet. He sits there for a little bit, but it's been absolute carnage here at the start of this race. And will it calm down and we'll actually get some composed racing, because it looks like everybody's fighting for the same part of the track. Primus now, already down to 16% ERS. I'm not really sure how he's got down that low. Millsy looks like he's trying to attack Pines, but in the background now we've got LA16 Ham and Pierre. Sorry, Old Manzi going side by side. And 3 wide into the right-hander. And it looks like Primus went for the move, but instead Millsy loses 2 positions there. Pines and Primus both get past him, and Millsy drops back down to where he started in P7. That is not what he's looking for. He's been passed by a Mercedes as well, which is also going to hinder him. And that is just very, very unfortunate. Now Primus down to 5% ERS. Tries to go down the inside of Trick 2 Pines. Side by side through here. You don't want to be side by side through here at all. Very brave driving. Primus tries to go around the outside of him, and he comes in and hits Pines. And Pines spins onto the racing line. Hits Revengezilla through no fault of his own. And Zilla is out. That was impact. And honestly, guys, it was 2 into 1, don't go. I said you don't want to be side by side into that corner, and they were, and it just resulted in what you would expect, which was a spin and damage for another car. So Revengezilla, very unlucky, wrong place, wrong time, and he is out of the Grand Prix. And I can tell you now he's not very happy. Millsy into the slipstream of Primus now. Millsy should be able to get past Primus nice and easy, because Primus is running on practically no ERS and Millsy's saved loads. Lovely move there from Millsy. He passes Primus and he should be able to now gap him slightly. Kachow now goes for a move on Cornet Star. They're side by side into the right-hander. Who's going to hold their nerve through here? And he looks like it's going to be Kachow. But no, they're going to go side by side here into the next corner. Looks like they've just about wheel banged, but it's just about fair. And that was a lovely move there from RSF1 Kachow. Beautiful overtake on Cornet Star. Very brave and just beautifully executed as Owen spins in the background. And it looks like it was probably with contact with Primus. Now you can see in the background there's a little battle going on. Primus thinking about a move on Millsy. But you've got battles all over the field now as we look at Button, who is following Lincoln around in P1 and P2 at the moment. Lincoln's using all his ERS. But now you can see LA16 Ham, the two Williams cars battling Trick 2 Pines. I don't know what's happened to Pines. I think he's pitted at some point for maybe damage or just a very, very early pit stop. And it looks like LA16 Ham made that move on Pines. Nice and comfortably. Now we got a caution. Oh, it's Immortal! Immortal's in a wall. Immortal is out. That is it for Immortal. He's crashed in a pretty peculiar place. Don't know how he's ended up there, but Immortal is out of the Grand Prix. And it brings out a safety car. Now, if I was all these drivers at the front, I would be boxing for the hard compound of tyre. If you don't take the advantage of this pit stop, you probably will cost yourself the race. As you can see, that both Aston Martins are considering going on, but they both boxed at the last second there, and they're going to double stack, and this is going to hurt Kachow. And I think the whole field will be in, other than the hard runners at the moment. Everyone else will pit in now, and Button pits, obviously. There's the double stack for Kachow. Pit crew being extremely slow, and he's going to lose potentially a position to Millsy as well, and it looks like he has. I think Kachow has dropped behind Millsy from those pit stops, and he's now going to have the fast car of Old Manzi, who's on the medium compound of tyre. It looks like Primus has got past Old Manzi here. But it's going to be a restart for Pierre, who stayed out, who's obviously on the hard tyres. And you can see Owen and Fishsticks both get a 5-second time penalty for colliding under the safety car. Give more space, lads. Come on. And Pierre gets us back underway. Very good restart. Now it's important for Lincoln to try and pass Pierre as soon as possible, because if he can pass Pierre, he should be able to hold up Button, Millsy, Kachow. And he might be able to get a gap to save some ERS. It's very, very important for Lincoln to do this move as soon as possible. As you can see in the background, you've got side-by-side battling. Owen's in the pit lane now for damage. And it's side-by-side with the Alfa Romeo and the Alfa Tauri. Sorry, I completely lost my words there. Now Pines, all over the back of Cornet. It looks like he's going to go for a move. I think Cornet's got damage from somewhere. Cornet Star does have damage, and that's probably going to cost him any chance at good points today, and probably rules him out of the championship. The Aston Martins now side by side. Button should be slotting him just behind Kachow. That's a swap of positions, and Kachow probably will now go for Lincoln. So Lincoln's going to have to make a move. You can see Old Manzi now fighting Millsy tooth and nail. Is he going to go down the inside? Millsy goes wide, thinking that Old Manzi was going to be down the inside. Old Manzi now accelerates off the corner, and hits the inside curb, and he bashes into the wall. Old Manzi has damage, and that is his race ruined. We're on lap 10, but without a safety car, he's going to struggle to get back into this race now. Very, very poor mistake there from Old Manzi. What can he do? And Lincoln has taken the lead off of Pierre into the final corner, and he should be able to gap the hard tyre compound of Pierre, because his lap tyres are 8 laps older. So Lincoln should be able to now gap away at the front, and it's all up to Kachow. When could Kachow pass Pierre? It's all up to him now. If he doesn't pass him anytime soon, then Lincoln will gap. So it's all up to Kachow. As you can see, Lincoln's already gapped by 1.3 seconds, nearly 1.4 now going through this left-hander. It might be by the end of this left-hander. Kachow all over the back of Pierre. You've got Button all over the back of Kachow, and then Millsy and Primus both sniffing around behind. And Kachow's going to go for the move, I think, at this earliest available opportunity. And he does go down the inside as we're on board with Lincoln. And that's a lovely move. Tiny bit of wheel banging, but nothing to worry about. And Kachow's back in the P2. But as you can see, he's lost 1.8 seconds to the race leader. So he's going to have to push. Lincoln realises that he's got this gap now. He can just save some ERS for a couple of laps and allow the gap to come down, because it ain't going to hurt him letting that gap come down. It's all about strategy around Bahrain because of the ERS management. You need to just know when to use it, when not to use it, when to save. It's very, very important. As you can see, Button now in the slipstream of Pierre. It's going to be an easy move. I don't know if Millsy might be able to follow him through, but it's a beautiful move there. But Pierre breaks very, very late. Button tries to hold it down the inside. Pierre's trying to hold it around the outside, but I think Pierre may have held it on, but no, brilliant driving from Button round the outside. Now Millsy and Primus are trying to follow him through. Pierre's losing position after position now, but he brakes extremely late and tries to hold it round the outside, and he does around Primus and Millsy, but not quite on Button. Button gets the move, but that's brilliant driving from all 4 drivers. Lovely to see, and F4 doing everybody proud in RSF1 as always. Now Pierre is losing the back end. He's going to have to hope for a late safety car to have any chance in this race. Otherwise, he's just going to drop back and have too much work to do to be in this race. As you can see now, we've got back-to-back drivers now. Everyone's just following each other down the pit straight. Primus saves a tiny bit of ERS down that straight this time, but not a lot. Now he's all over the back of Pierre. He should be able to make this move stick, and he's going to go down the inside. Is he going to outbrake the late braking of Pierre? And he does, actually. It's a lovely move. Pierre thinks about the cutback, but decides against it. Pulls in now behind. And that is a good move by Primus. Gordon Star sets the fastest lap of the race, but you would expect that on 1 lap old mediums. He's miles back. And now you can see Primus thinking about a move on Button. In the background, you got Pierre and Millsy going side by side. And I think Millsy's made that move on Pierre. And it looks like he has. No, Pierre holds it for now. Millsy's now getting a bit impatient because he's losing so much time stuck behind him. And Millsy loses the back end, but then still gets on the throttle. Very brave driving there from Millsy. And still going to make the move despite the back end issue. And that's a lovely overtake there from RSF1 Millsy. And he is up into P5. It's been a very frustrating afternoon for Millsy. He looks like he's had a little bit more pace than he's shown, but he's just been stuck behind cars the majority of the race. And you can see now Primus Gaming down to 13% ERS, so he's really struggling for ERS saving. He's not being smart about it at all. Kachow you've got in P2 following Lincoln, and I think Button has moved out of the way for Primus, and he has. I'm not keen on this strategy. Button is braked before the DRS line, which we've seen in esports actually yesterday with a driver who also did that around their USA track, and it did cost him the win, which, to be honest with you, I think he deserved to lose the win for doing so. But braked before the DRS to get the DRS instead of having to defend. And yeah, it's not a sportsmanlike decision, and it's not a sportsmanlike strategy. I'm not overly keen on it, but I guess every driver can do what they want when they're in driving the car and on the track. But yeah, there are some things you do for sportsmanship, sorry. But you can see Primus has made that move on Button. Button up getting back down the straight because of Primus's ERS, so we're not going to worry about those two too much. We're going to have a quick gander at some point. But now you can see Pierre is still sticking with the drivers in front. Button all over the back of Primus, Millsy all over the back of Button, and Fish Sticks is a little bit of a gap behind Pierre. But as you can see now, Kachow down to 10% ERS. Kachow needs to start saving some if he really is in contention for this race victory. It's whichever driver can hold their nerve and stay behind the other one for long enough to save ERS, because then that leaves the other one vulnerable, and they'll be able to make the move, make the overtake nice and easy, and not lose time. That is the main thing now. You can see Primus and Button side by side. Millsy finally gets past Pierre, so Millsy's going to clear Pierre now, and that's going to save him some time. Or was that Pierre trying to attack Millsy? I think Pierre might have been actually trying to re-attack Millsy. But now his tyres have gone off. Fish Sticks down the inside. Pierre sees him at the last minute. Very, very audacious overtake attempt there from Fish Sticks, but he gets away with it. As you can now see, Kachow, Lincoln, all over the back of each other. And we got a yellow flag. Primus! Primus is out. Primus Gaming in the wall on the fast right. And we knew it would catch somebody by the end of this race, and it's got the AlphaTauri driver of Primus Gaming. Very unfortunate, but there's not an awful lot he can do. It does happen, and he is out of the Grand Prix. And as we were watching that, Kachow has passed Lincoln for the race lead. Now, what will Lincoln do? Will he attack straight away? Will he sit there and save some ERS? I had a little chat with Lincoln prior to this race, and I said, if you get past, sit behind them, save ERS. I did it in my race. It helped me massively to get P2. And I think it's the only way to go. save ERS for a few laps and then attack when they can't have enough time to save their ERS. It's a strategy race. It's not about who's the fastest, it's about who's the smartest. And will Lincoln be the smartest here over Kachao? As you can see now, going down the pit straight, he's going to open his DRS flap. Is he going to attack into turn 1? I don't think he is. He's not using any ERS. Very smart driver from Lincoln. And he sits behind Kachao. As long as he doesn't hit the back of him, tiny little love tap. But he should be fine. Cornet Star gets a penalty as well, which is very unfortunate for Cornet. But, I mean, it's been a bad day for him at the office. Now you can see Millsy has passed Button. Millsy has got past Button down the pit straight. Don't know how he's done that. I guess just DRS assistance and a little bit of ERS usage. But he's made the move. Trick Two Binds has lost his entire front ring. Tries to break into the pit lane and goes too fast and gets a speed into the pit lane penalty. As we now go on board with Owen trying to attack Cornet Star. Trying to go round the outside. Tiny bit of wheel banging. Bit of wheel rubbing there. But can he hold it round the outside, side by side, into this right left? Very brave to be side by side through here. And Cornet, I think, holds the position for now. They're still side by side. Owen will not give this up, neither will Cornet. They are just battling now very hard for what is 8th place, which is not what you'd expect to say with the pole sitter Cornet Star. And he has lost that position to Owen. But will he be able to come back at him? I think he's still got damage. I'm pretty sure they haven't repaired his damage on his wing. I might be wrong, but I do believe he might have lime green damage. He's all over the back now of Owen. Can he hold it through the right-hander? A tiny lift, but he's going to set him up, I think, for the DRS straight now. Should be a comfortable move. As we now go back to the battle for P3, Button has now passed Millsy again. Fish sticks all over the back of both of them. But as you can see, Button and Fish sticks both have a penalty. Millsy doesn't. Millsy doesn't even have a warning. So Millsy's in a good place. He doesn't actually necessarily have to battle these drivers. But will he battle them? Because Millsy's a racer. He's not a guy that just likes to sit back and go, oh, I'll take this position on penalties. He loves to race. And as you can see now, we go on board with the race leaders. Lincoln has managed to save 100% ERS. Kachao is a sitting duck when Lincoln decides to go for it. Lincoln is not going for it this lap. He's just sitting there. He's biding his time. And Kachao is down to 8%. He's down to 8%. Lincoln's at 95 now. Lincoln is finally going to go for this move. Can Lincoln win his first RSF1 race? And it might be down to strategy as well. He's using his DRS assistance down into turn 1. And he makes the move. Kachao runs out of ERS. Kachao knows he's got to fight back. Otherwise, he's lost this race. He goes down the inside. Lincoln trying to hold it there. Kachao's trying to hold it around the outside. He goes a little bit wide onto the curb. Loses traction. And Lincoln takes the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix here. Round number 14 in Division 4. But now Kachao is trying to follow him through. But Lincoln's got the help of his teammate, Trick Two Binds, who has pitted for the soft compound tyre. And he is right behind the two drivers. And he is hindering Kachao. It might be putting off Kachao into the braking zones. As you can see, Kachao does go wide. I think he is hindering him. He's not doing anything illegal. He's just following him around. And I think it's a good distraction there for Kachao. Lincoln now has the race lead. Can he do anything? If he wins this race, he can extend his championship battle at the very top. He's trying everything in his power. It's been a very strategic drive from RSF1 Lincoln. Kachao has basically been caught out as we go on to the final lap. Kachao only had 5% ERS, 3%. He's going to run out. Lincoln has 20%, so Lincoln's in the pole position to win this race. Kachao has absolutely messed up by being in the race lead for so long. Lincoln has drove a perfect strategic Grand Prix here. And he's down this DRS straight. Not close enough, Kachao. He's not close enough. Into this final lap. He's only got 2 more overtaking spots, really. The second DRS straight and then the final DRS straight to the line. But you do need ERS. And Kachao doesn't have any. So I don't think there's much he can do. Millsy and Fish sticks battling side by side. Don't know what's happened to Button. Button's quite a way back now. I think Button's had an incident. But we go now into the second DRS straight of the lap. And Kachao is not fast. Not close enough. Can Lincoln win his first Grand Prix? It's so close. He's a few corners away now. Through this fast right. Don't do anything stupid here and crash. He doesn't. through the penultimate right-hander. He has a lovely gap now. I would suggest that Lincoln is going to be an RSF1 race winner here. Through, down the back straight here, into the final corner. Comes around, nails the apex, doesn't do anything stupid, doesn't risk track limits. And Lincoln wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Round number 14 in Division 4. He finally got his first win. Kachel gets P2. Very good driving from the pair of them. Lincoln, strategic Grand Prix, wins him that race. Millsy's going to come home P3. Fish Sticks is going to get P4. Button's going to get P5. Pierre P6. NUFC 7. Owen's going to get P7. LH16 Ham's going to get P8. 9th is going to go to Old Manzi. Pines is already finished in 11th. And Cornet Star is going to get the final point. And he's also going to get the fastest lap point too. So he's going to get 2 points from this Grand Prix. And as you can see, the Mercedes driver, very happy to win. And as I also mentioned, the fastest lap does go to Cornet Star. Very interesting race. Very exciting. From start till finish, that was an absolute thriller. And you'll see now the championship standings. I have updated them for this Grand Prix, as without steward reports, without any interference. This is the provisional championship standings for Division 4 in RSF1. Whenever I decided I edited them in. You'll see them in a moment. I think now. There you go. Lincoln 178 points. Millsy 153. 131 Cornet. 116 to 131 Button. 116 to Cornet. 102 to Kachal. I hope you've enjoyed. I've been Chris Traversi, and I'll see you later.